Now that Joker's daughter is on the team of Red Hood and Arsenal, nothing could possibly go wrong, right? Yeah, this isn't gonna go well. We'll go to the complete story series where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read it dramatically back to you. All alterations of the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Don't forget to support this great industry by buying these books online or at your local comic book store. We always have the link down below. During the start of the Robin Wars, Red Hood has Arsenal keep an eye on their new hire, Joker's daughter, which was recently hired after she did an entirely weird situation with Red Hood and Arsenal in our last video. As Arsenal and Joker's daughter sit on top of a building, Red Hood tells them that he has some things that he's going to go follow up on, and they shouldn't follow him. He runs off to be a part of the Robin Wars, and that video will be down below. But Joker's daughter suggests that Arsenal and her follow him anyway. Arsenal tells her no, Red Hood cares about her, so for whatever reason, he needs to care by proxy. Later, while Joker's daughter is getting a drink off of the water tower's water, Arsenal gets a call for their business rent-a-bat, someone asking for help rescuing some orphans at a circus. So, he takes Joker's daughter and they set off on the job, and Joker's daughter couldn't be more than happy to do something finally. She was getting really bored. When they finally arrive at the circus, Arsenal hears his phone go off that the client's money has already cleared his PayBud account. Now, they just need to find whoever it is that they need to beat up. Joker's daughter points and says, "I guess it's over there, where all the people are running and screaming from." When Arsenal looks over, he sees Phosphorus Rex, Big Top, and Siam. Arsenal begins to run in and tells Joker's daughter to stay, and she barks in reply, "Woof!" While Rex is speaking with Big Top, Arsenal jumps in, shooting an asbestos foam arrow at Rex and Siam, covering both of them so that they can't move. But just as Arsenal is thinking that was a little too easy, he hears Joker's daughter call out to him to look behind him. But before he can react, Big Top jumps on top of him. Joker's daughter watches and tells Arsenal that it's a real honor to watch him work, and he tells her, "Fine. Sick her." Just then, Joker's daughter leaps from the popcorn machine that she was on and cracks Big Top in the head with a wheel from the machine. She then turns when she hears a voice yell at her, "How dare you!" Rex begins to yell that they are the Circus of the Strange, and he shoots fire at Joker's daughter, having her jump over Big Top, causing Big Top to take the fire. She then throws the broken wheel at Rex, impaling him and knocking him out. Arsenal draws his bow on Joker's daughter and tells her, "Heal," and she tells him that he's really big on the dog metaphors, and it's a little sexist. She then points her gun down at the people that they just dropped, telling Arsenal that she wished she could have been good, but that's just not who she is. Arsenal tells her, "Whir," because if she pulls that trigger, she will be a whir, and Joker's daughter closes her eyes and says that she's sorry. A short while later, Arsenal decides that it might be best to drop Joker's daughter off, and Joker's daughter begins to wake up asking what happened. Arsenal tells her that he tased her with a few thousand volts, and she tries to tell him that she wasn't gonna shoot. Red Hood believes in her, which makes her want to believe in herself. Arsenal frees Joker's daughter, and he thinks to himself how he might be regretting this later, but before anything else can happen, creatures begin to start crawling up from the ground, and they look like zombies covered in lava, and Joker's daughter says that they're dwellers, mindless subhumans who live in the rock-bottom lava beds underneath Gotham. A short time later, Red Hood appears to meet up with them, and he notices that Arsenal's bike is melted to the ground. Man, this can't be good. Much later, Arsenal is being tortured and being asked how he knows Joker's daughter, and the woman tells him that she was sent by Sharon to know about those who signed with Joker's daughter. As they pull him out of a tank of ice water, she asks again, but Arsenal tells her that Joker's daughter is not his friend, just a friend of a friend, and this is the part where you guys are supposed to tell me where she is. And the woman asks, "Or what?" And Arsenal tells her, "Well, spoiler, I'm gonna kick your asses." As the two thugs begin to walk to him, Arsenal breaks free, knocking the thugs out, and then he wraps the chain around the woman, asking again, "So where's Joker's daughter?" Elsewhere in the Nethers, Joker's daughter finds herself chained up, and Sharon asks her how she once took away everything from him. Joker's daughter tells him that she is implosive like that. Kids, huh? But it doesn't matter. Those people are now her people, and she beats him in battle. Sharon tells her that it doesn't matter. He has a new tribe now, and they are going to drag Gotham into the fiery rivers of purification. As more of the dwellers start to crawl out of the ground, Joker's daughter lets out a small eep. Arsenal continues to try and look for Joker's daughter, but he finds himself starting to get surrounded by these dwellers, and he tells them, "No touchies, the whole burning lava hands thing kinda hurts. So just point and he'll go." Back below, Sharon begins to have these dwellers push down the pillars that hold up Gotham, allowing everything to come falling down into this lava, and Joker's daughter tells him, "Hey, inflicting a little pain is fun, but this is millions of people." Sharon tells her that that is because of her. He was cast out from those people, and though he almost died, he found these dwellers, and they began to follow his words. Joker's daughter begins to think that this is her fault, but before she can talk anymore, Arsenal is thrown into the pit where she is chained. "So rude," Arsenal says. Joker's daughter asks if he came back for her, and he tells her yes, she's essentially company property. Joker's daughter stares at him and asks if that's the only reason. And he tells her, for someone called Joker's daughter, you're a little humor impaired. As Arsenal begins to free Joker's daughter, Red Hood comes crashing down through the ceiling. See, they knew they needed him. Arsenal looks at him and tells him, I notice your guns are gone. You can go ahead and use the arrow gun, just don't give me a hard time about it. Joker's daughter walks over to them and tells them, no, this is her fight. It's between her and Sharon. Joker's daughter then walks over to him and tells him that neither of them belong here, not as leader, not even as people. But she wanted to say, sorry. She extends her hand to give him a handshake and asks him if he's ready. And he asks for what? And Joker's daughter pulls his arm, pulling both of them down to the pit of lava. She comes closer and closer to the lava, so Arsenal fires a hook that grabs Joker's daughter by the hand before pulling her back in. When she comes back up, she asks, why did he do that? And Arsenal tells her, I don't know. Killing herself is stupid. Red Hood grabs her and tells her that he won't let her go until things get better. And they will. He promises. Later, Joker's daughter decides to leave behind the mask, the Joker skin mask, because the people down here can do better than her as a leader or even Sharon. But as Arsenal begins to walk out, he notices a figure, just as it begins to vanish. Arsenal was suggesting that they lead the people of the underground to the top, but Joker's daughter tells him leadership is pretty overrated anyways, and Arsenal agrees. Red Hood then asks Arsenal, what would you know? When have you ever led anyone? But he has. He led Iron Rule, the group that Red Hood fought to get down here. And there's only one more story in the Red Hood and Arsenal storyline to bring us up to the rebirth, new beginning for Red Hood. I personally really enjoy the Red Hood storylines, and so far I've yet to have one that I really didn't like. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Comicstorian and Instagram at Comicstorian, and I'll see you guys next time right here.